Hello everyone, my name is Praveen and I welcome you all to yet another tutorial on to Docker for Beginners series. So till now we have seen what exactly is Docker, what is container, what are images, how to write a Docker file, and we have seen how to Dockerize the Nginx container in the last lecture. So if you haven't gone through those, I'll highly encourage you to go through it to understand the concepts behind the Docker and how you can Dockerize any particular application, right? Okay. In today's lecture, we're going to see how you can Dockerize a Java application. So what I've done here is I have a very simple Spring Boot application. Nothing fancy about it. I'll show you my POM file. Okay, so this is my POM file. I have a Spring Boot starter web for creating REST endpoints, and I have a Spring Boot Maven plugin to create a jar when I'm building my application, right? And parent, I'm using it as a Spring Boot starter parent. Okay. Now, once I go back to my Java classes, I have two Java classes. One is just my normal main class for running Spring Boot application. Another one is a Hello Docker controller, having only one get endpoint called as hello docker, running an output called as hello from docker. That's it. That's a very simple Java application that I'm having. If I want to Dockerize this thing, how would I doing it, right? So I need to first create a Docker file, and as I told in last lectures, Docker file has to be at the root of your directory or root of your project. So inside my hello docker project, I created a file called as hello docker, and instructions into that is pretty simple. Basically, uh, I'm getting a JDK 8 Alpine image. Okay, I'm running on JDK 8. So rather than installing Ubuntu or Alpine and then installing JDK on top of it, there is a composite image available which is called as OpenJDK 8 JDK Alpine, right, which is not going to install Alpine for you, but also going to install the JDK for you as well. It will put the Java onto your class path. So everything has been handled by this JDK Alpine image. Another thing is a copy or add command, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to build my project. Let's say I say Maven. First I do Maven clean. So what's going to happen is let it run. It's a pretty simple project. Basically, what I've done is I've installed the Docker. I've installed the Docker plugin into my IntelliJ. So that would be beneficial if you're writing the Docker files. So that's gonna do a syntax highlighting if you see here, and give you some kind of a suggestions as well. I'm running a maven clean command just now, so this is gonna clean my target directory. If you see here, I would not have anything into my target directory. Target directory is gone. I'll do maven install. Okay, once I do maven install, it's going to create a jar file for me. What I've done is I'm using the Spring Boot Starter Maven parent, right? What this is going to do is it's going to create me a manifest for my executable jar, and the manifest is going to use this start class as a property, and I'm specifying the hello docker main, that which is my main class when I'm going to run from the this particular command, right? So what I'm doing here is this maven install gonna create a jar file called as hello docker 1.0 snapshot for me, right? Because this is a version that I'm specifying into my pom file. I'm gonna copy it as app.jar into my container. It can be anything, you can give any name into it. And then I'm running a entry point command, which is java -jar, the way you run a executable jar, right? And I'm giving a name as app.jar. So let it complete and then we'll see how it's gonna behave. So now I can run it directly from here, or I can go to my Docker terminal and I can run it from here as well. So it's up to us how you want to do it. Since I'm already here onto this particular directory, I'll probably try to run it from here because Docker is already into my class path. And this is gonna be a Uber jar, okay? It's gonna copy all the dependencies that's been needed for running my Java class. So it's gonna package everything. Spring Boot gonna package everything into it and gonna give me a single jar file which I can run it. So it has created a hello docker 1.0 snapshot jar for us, right? Now it is build is successful. What I'm gonna do is I want to create a hello docker image now. So how we can do that? Let's say docker build, and we're gonna tag it as we explained in the last lecture. I'm gonna give a name for my image. I say my hello docker. Everything has to be in a small case. Give a version. Let's say 1.2 and dot, because give us path where exactly your docker file is residing. It's in a current directory. I'm gonna run it now and then we'll see how the image gets created. It's going to copy my jar file now. So this is the copy that you're seeing. Current build context. It is copying it. Right. Now everything should come from cache because I already built it. Should be faster. Okay. Our image has been built. And this is the image name. Now if I want to run it, I can directly run it from here, or I can go, let's see here. I should see my newer images that I've created. I say Docker images. I should see it. This is my image, hello docker 1.2, right? So let's run it now. Docker run my hello docker 1.2, and I give a name. Let's say docker, and this should boot up your Spring Boot application into it. And we're gonna try to access it and then see how it looks like. By default, your Spring Boot, since I have not specified any port or anything, it will start on a port 8080, right? Because I have not specified any ports on top of it. So that's the default port that's going to start into. It's taking a bit of time. Let's say. Okay, our image is starting now. The content is starting. It's a bit slow. Let's give it a little bit of time to come up. So our container has been started. Now if you want to access it, basically how you're going to access it, you cannot really do like localhost and 8080 and you're going to do it, right? So you need to find it out the port, the IP address on which your container has been started or in your Docker machine has been running, right? So how you can find that? I can do Docker machine and IP. So this should give me a IP address for my Docker machine. So this is the IP address of my Docker machine. Now if I try to access it, let's say 8080, our endpoint is hello docker, right? This is not working, right? And the reason for that it is not working is because when you run something inside a container, that port that has been exposed, which is 8080, that port basically has to map with the machine's port as well, because you cannot really access a container directly. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to stop it. So I'm going to stop this particular container and I'm going to do something called as port mapping. Okay, so let me do that. Now let's run the same command, this time with doing the port mapping. Version 1.2, and I'm doing a port mapping and flag for it -p, and let's say 8080 of my machine, Docker machine mapped to 8080 of container. This is how you can specify it. Run it again. Okay, so this time after doing a port mapping, we have restarted our container again. Now let's see if it works this time. Okay, so we got our response, right? Hello from Docker. Okay, so the call has come here and we got our response as well. Hello from Docker. So our application has been successfully containerized. So this is how you can containerize a Java application as well, the Spring Boot based application. Uh, so this is it for this particular lecture. Hope you all liked it. So if you liked it and you're liking this series, please go ahead, like and share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. That's more important. That's the motivation for the YouTuber like me. And thanks for your support for the channel. Thank you so much.